To nurse breath and spirit, that's extraction. Feelings and nature are in form the same. Ailments arise from spirit and mind distraught. When shape and sperm fail, the way declines. 3 flowers fizzle and your labor's vain. All 4 grates wither and you strive for naught. Earth and wood sterile, metal and water die. When will true self, so sluggish, be attained? When Shamunk saw how greatly Tripitaka was suffering from his hunger and thirst, and 8 rules still had not returned with the water, he had no alternative but to put down the wraps and tie up the white horse. Then he said, "Master, please sit here for a moment. Let me go and see if I can hurry him back with the water." Tears welling up in his eyes, the elder could only nod his head to give his reply. Quickly mounting the cloudy luminosity, Shamunk also headed for the south of the mountain. As he sat there all by himself enduring his agonies, the elder suddenly heard a loud noise near him. He was so startled that he jumped up, and then he saw that Pilgrimson was kneeling on one side of the road, his 2 hands holding high a porcelain cup. "Master," he said, "without Old Monkey, you don't even have water. This is a cup of nice, cool water. Drink it to relieve your thirst, and let me then go beg some food for you." "I won't drink your water," replied the elder. "If I die of thirst on the spot, I'll consider this my martyrdom. I don't want you anymore. Leave me." "Without me," said Pilgrim, "you can't go to the western heaven." "Whether I can or not," said Tripitaka, "is no business of yours. Lawless ape, why are you bothering me again?" Changing his color all at once, that pilgrim became incensed and shouted at the elder, "You cruel Bonzi! How you humiliate me!" He threw away the porcelain cup and slammed the iron rod on the back of the elder, who fainted immediately on the ground. Picking up the 2 blue woolen wraps, the monkey mounted his cloud somersault and went off to some place. We now tell you about 8 rules, who went to the south slope of the mountain with his alms bowl. As he passed the fold of the mountain, a thatched hut, the site of which had been blocked previously by the mountain, came into view. He walked up to it and discovered that this was some sort of human residence. Idiot thought to himself, "I have such an ugly face. They will no doubt be afraid of me and refuse to give me any food. I must use transformation." Dear idiot! Making the magic sign with his fingers, he recited a spell and shook his body 7 or 8 times. At last, he changed into a yellowish, consumptive monk, still rather stoutish. Moaning and groaning, he staggered up to the door and called out, "Patron, if your kitchen has surplus rice, let it starved wayfarers suffice. This humble cleric is from the land of the East, on his way to seek scriptures in the western heaven. My master, now sitting by the road, is hungry and thirsty. If you have any cold rice or burnt crusts, I beg you to give us some." Now, the men of the household, you see, had all gone to plant the fields, and only 2 women remained behind. They had just finished cooking lunch and filled 2 large bowls with rice to be sent to the fields, while some rice and crusts were still in the pot. When they saw his sickly appearance, and when they heard all that muttering about going to the western heaven from the land of the east, they thought that he was babbling because of his illness. Afraid, moreover, that he might fall dead right before their door, the women hurriedly packed the alms bowl with the leftovers, crust and all, which Idiot gladly received. After he left on the road from which he came, he changed back into his original form. As he proceeded, he heard someone calling, "8 rules." Raising his head, he found that it was Shamunk, standing on a cliff and shouting, "Come this way! Come this way!" Then he leapt down from the cliff and approached 8 rules, saying, "There's lovely, clean water here in the brook. Why didn't you bail some? Where did you run off to?" "When I reached here," said 8 rules, chuckling, "I saw a house in the fold of the mountain. I went there and succeeded in begging from them this bowl of dried rice." "We can use that," said Shamunk. "But master is terribly thirsty. How can we bring back some water?" "That's easy. replied 8 Rules. Fold up the hem of your robe, and we'll use that to hold the rice. I'll take the alms bowl to bail some water. In great spirits, the two of them went back to the spot by the road, where they saw Tripitaka lying down with his face hugging the earth. The reins were loosened, and the white horse was rearing up and neighing repeatedly by the road. The pole with the luggage, however, was nowhere to be seen. 8 Rules was so shaken that he stamped his feet and beat his breast, shouting, "This has to be it! This has to be it!" The cohorts of those bandits whom Pilgrim's son beat to death must have returned to kill Master and take the luggage. "Let's tie up the horse first," said Sha Monk, and then he too began to shout, "What shall we do? What shall we do?" This is truly the failure that comes in midway. As he turned to call but once, "Master!" tears streamed down his face and he wept bitterly. "Brother," said 8 Rules, "stop crying. When we have reached this stage of affairs, let's not talk about that scripture business. You watch over Master's corpse, and let me ride to some village store in whatever county or district nearby, and see if I can buy a coffin. Let's bury Master, and then we can disperse." Unwilling, however, to give up on his master, Sha Monk turned the Tang monk over on his back, and put his own face up to the corpse's face. "My poor master," he wailed, and presently the elder's mouth and nose began to belch hot air as a little warmth could also be felt on his chest. 8 Rules, cried Sha Monk hurriedly. "Come over here. Master's not dead." Our idiot approached them and lifted up the elder, who woke up slowly, groaning all the time. "You lawless ape," he exclaimed. "You've just about struck me dead." "Which ape is this?" asked both Sha Monk and 8 Rules, and the elder could do nothing more than to sigh. Only after he drank several gulps of water did he say, "Disciples, soon after both of you left, that Wukong came to bother me again. Because I adamantly refused to take him back, he gave me a blow with his rod and took away our blue woolen wraps." When 8 Rules heard this, he clenched his teeth as fire leapt up from his heart. "This brazen ape," he said. "How could he be so insolent? Sha Monk, you look after Master and let me go to his home to demand the wraps." "Stop being so angry," said Sha Monk. "We should take Master to that house in the fold of the mountain and beg for some hot liquids to warm up the rice we managed to get just now. Let's take care of Master first before you go look for him." 8 Rules agreed. After having helped their master to mount up, they held the alms bowl and carried the cold rice up to the house's door, where they found only an old woman inside. Seeing them, she quickly wanted to hide. Sha Monk pressed his palms together and said, "Old Mama, we are those from the land of the East, sent by the Tang court to go to the Western Heaven. Our master is somewhat indisposed, and that is why we have come here, especially to your house to beg some hot tea or water, so that he may eat some rice." "Just now," said the old woman, "there was a consumptive monk who claimed to have been sent from the land of the East. We have already given him some food. How is it that you are also from the land of the East? There's no one in the house. Please go to someplace else." On hearing this, the elder held onto 8 Rules and dismounted. Then he bent low and said, "Old Popo, I had originally 3 disciples, who were united in their efforts to accompany me to see Buddha for scriptures at the great Thunderclap Monastery in India. My eldest disciple, whose name is Sun Wukong, has unfortunately practiced violence all his life, and refused to follow the virtuous path. For this reason, I banished him. Little did I expect him to return in secret and give my back a blow with his rod. He even took our luggage and our clothing. I must now send a disciple to go find him and ask for our things, but the open road is no place to sit. Hence we have come to ask your permission to use your house as a temporary resting place. As soon as we get back our luggage, we'll leave, for we dare not linger." "But there was a yellowish, consumptive monk just now," said the old woman, "who received our food. He also claimed to be part of a pilgrimage going to the Western Heaven from the land of the East. How could there be so many of you? Unable to restrain his giggles, 8 Rules said. That was I. Because I have this long snout and huge ears, I was afraid that your family might be frightened and refuse me food. That was why I changed into the form of that monk. If you don't believe me, just take a look at what my brother's carrying in the fold of his robe. Isn't that your rice, crust, and all? When the old woman saw that it was indeed the rice that she had given him, she no longer refused them, and asked them to go inside and take a seat. She then prepared a pot of hot tea, which she gave to Shamunk for him to mix with the rice. After the master had eaten several mouthfuls, he felt more calm and said, "Which of you will go ask for the luggage?" In that year when master sent him back there, said 8 Rules. I went to look for him. So I know the way to his flower fruit mountain and the water curtain cave. Let me go. Let me go. You can't go, replied the elder. That monkey has never been friendly with you, and you are so rough with your words. A tiny slip when you talk to him and he may want to attack you. Let Wu Jing go. I'll go. I'll go, said Shamunk agreeably, whereupon the elder gave him this further instruction. You must size up the situation as soon as you get there. If he's willing to give you our wraps, just pretend to thank him and take them. If he's unwilling, be sure not to argue or fight with him.